Hello, one of 5 or 6 viewers who I may know in real life. It's good to see you. I'm doing great. As is customary, I'm going to go over the games from our weekly Swiss tournament. I'm going to go over the winners' games one by one. And you have to know, I am taking time out of my job as a highly successful investment banker to make this happen. So you should pay attention and try to learn something. Let's start going over these games. All right, game one. We have more chess versus old man chess. Good players here. All right, e4, c5. We have a closed Sicilian. And we have this line where white chooses to double the pawns, which is just a-okay. It's totally fine for both sides. It's fine for black, even though we have doubled pawns. It somewhat supports the center, controls a good amount of space here. It's going to be all right. Let's see how it develops. d3. All right, d5. Knight f3. This is sort of a mistake here because I think it surrenders a lot of the center for white. And after a move like knight to e2, which is played, we can kind of clamp down on these dark squares, and on e5 we can even play e5 if we're lucky, but yeah, it just allows white to control a lot of the center, break with c3, and it's not as scary as it looks, but let's go back to the game. Castles and e5, so stopping that idea, which is okay. h3, preventing the bishop from coming out to g4. Okay. A-okay, bishop e7. Knight back, very interesting, very interesting. So obviously making room for f4 in the future, like that. So, okay, good stuff. Development. Sort of wondering, hey, when is black gonna castle? Is a great question. And if we actually go back here, the best move for black is fascinating. If we know the plan is to play f4, the best move will stop f4, and that's g5, but that looks gross. Icky, nasty, gross. Nobody's going to play that. So, f4, queenside castle, very suspicious, and f5. So, we have white grabbing space anywhere and everywhere, just terrifying. And we actually have a great time for this c3 break right now. That would be wonderful. And what has to happen is black has to break on the king side. White has to break on the queen side, and they're going to use whatever file's open as an attack, if that makes sense. But in the game, we have a3, very clear signal for b4 in the future, but I don't think this is the break we want. I think we want c3, and then that will naturally open up one of these files here. Then we can push the b pawn and the a pawn and get our rooks here and just have a good old-fashioned time. However, g6 breaking on the king side. b4. Okay, this makes c3 somewhat awkward now, but okay. Takes and takes. We've lost our beautiful pawn chain, but that's okay. These things happen. Something to maintain that pawn chain a little longer could have been knight g3, but, realistically, I mean, this is going to make a similar position. If black gives up the bishop, which they shouldn't, we can take like this. There's a cat. Okay. Going back. b4, very well, logical. Takes, knight f6. Knight g3. So we get sort of the same kind of position. Rook to the open g file. And knight e4. Looks fine by me. Black actually has this move c4, which is a complication. It's not like a deal breaker, but it's active and it's pushing that awkward doubled pawn, and let's see, where could we go from here? We could take and queen h5. That's going to come up again. We have a pretty even game. Back to the game. Knight e4. Knight takes, pawn takes. Okay. The ever-evolving structure. Rook g3. Notice queen h5 becomes possible. And there's really no threat, because this looks terrifying. But look at my knight. My rook can come in. After a move like doubling the rooks, there's no real threat. We just start taking things. We can even start to exchange if we go up rook f3. But we can just start taking things and move like bishop h4. You know, we're sitting pretty. We maybe don't want to go pawn hunting so much, because then the queen gets involved, and then maybe we have an issue. But you know, as long as the queen is centralized, we have moves like queen c4. We can easily just like access the entire board, and we're happy. We're happy. Going back, rook f3. Rooks are doubled. Queen d3. White hoping for an exchange to make this attack a little less of a bite. And what do you know? We get into really similar position to the analysis we just did. Takes on c5 and takes on f3. Knight takes. All right. The eval bar has swung way into white's favor. Well, why is that? King safety. Hanging piece. So, okay. Let's say, okay, let's save the hanging piece. Let's go back. Okay, now what? Well, now we have moves like this. Hitting the queen side, excuse me, hitting the king side, hitting the queen side. The rook's coming in. Okay, we can do a lot of crazy things here. Not crazy things, a lot of threatening things. So say like, well, I don't know, you go to defend. It's just not going to do it, man, because we got bishops. So okay, let's say here. Rook b1, and this king is feeling like rough. You know what I'm saying? He's not liking it. Not liking his prospects. Expeditionary move here doesn't do much. We're just controlling too many squares. So let's even after this, like, we're happy here. Yeah, we're happy. We're just controlling everything. But let's go back to the game. Rook g3. Queen a6 check. And, excuse me, I went too far. Here, there. Yeah. Okay. Queen a3 check, queen a6 check, and there's a resignation. Why is there a resignation? Well, we have check, and the bishop's hanging. It's that simple. No matter what we do, no matter what happens, if we move, we take the bishop. If we block, we take and take the bishop. Rough time. So, good game. Got to go back to my highly successful job as an investment banker, and then we'll look at the second game. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, here's the second game. Sorry, it's my second job as a highly successful lawyer. I'm getting confused. We're here now. We're gonna watch this. So we have more chess versus PB Foster. PB Foster won every game last week, or last time rather, 2 weeks ago, and good player. Both good players. So, we have a Caro Kann. Let's take a look. A highly topical, Gotham chess inspired early c5. Isn't that lovely? And the standard development, developing the bishop. And here we are. We have our solid pawn structure, like so. We have a not so solid pawn structure, which happens. It's part of the Caro Kann, part of what can happen in the Caro Kann for white. Our active bishop Very delightful pin here. And let's see where we go. Bishop b5. Okay. I think it lives a little better on d3, personally. Building up sort of slowly, but okay. Takes, 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 takes. Everybody takes. Nobody does not. And all the pieces are just evaporating. Okay, knight e7, and we're going to grab this awesome square on f5. We're going to watch this here. Bishop. Okay, knight c3. Very good. I wonder if... because I know that, you know, this pawn is a liability. I'm just curious if there are any ideas here to bring the queen back, to reroute the knight, but it probably takes too long, so ignore that. Knight c3, bishop e7, and whoa. Wow, what in the world are you doing, man? He's got a job. He's got to protect the king. He's king's bodyguard, and you just put him in the mailroom. Well, he doesn't know how to read. He can use a sword like nobody's business because he's a king's bodyguard, but you put him in the mailroom, and he doesn't know how to find 317 Terrace Avenue because he can't read. Maybe he can take the sword and like threaten somebody and say, "Tell me where it is." Anyways, we should keep this pawn back. This pawn is good back here. Quite an even game. We're just going to play something like this. Long-term pressure. Throw the pawns up the board, grab some space, and it's a Caro-Kann game. But the thing about G4 is it inspires black to do what he was already going to do, which is take on E3, and now we have a structural issue. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury may note, doing it again, F7 is is quite a threat at the moment. So, boom. Hey, I can still play chess, right? I saw that. So, good job. Good job. Rook A to D1. Okay. Fine. Probably better on C1, but it's just me. And what's the plan? I mean, what should we do here as black? If you have glimpsed at a Caro-Kann in the last 200 years, you'll know C5. C5. Tremendous square to take. Check it out. F5 gives us scoliosis. Makes my back hurt. But C5, this sparks joy. We need C5. However, we have F5. Okay. I can accept this. And oh my goodness, what an active move. Bishop H4. Connect the rooks and double the rooks. Why not? Uh-oh. We said, never mind. Hey, there's a bishop there. I'm not going to do that. The activity continues, and check out how this goes. F4, very well-timed F4. Very well-timed. Take, take. I think this is pretty active. And then here, and then C5. But takes is fine. Again, pretty active. But not trying to nitpick here. You might be concerned about this. Which is going to come up, actually. We could play Queen G5, though, and after something like this, we're actually not that upset. We're not that upset about this. King H1, and, well, we're not upset about this at all. We can take here. There's no threats. There's no threats. But that's hard to see. So, onward to victory. Okay, Queen F8. Now, what to do? Well, turns out we're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. Queen f8, doubling on the f-file. King g2 is excellent, allowing the rook to come in and help at some point. And, well, it's kind of black's game here. We just have to find the right way forward. For instance, h5. Ooh. Ah. What's the idea? Well, those of you who like to think ahead, take a moment while I sip my coffee. Oh yes. So, this cannot be taken. This cannot be taken because wah, bishop h4. Ah, the pain, the misery. Oh, but I saved my queen. Well, I don't care if you saved your queen, because I'm going to get your king. Dude. Very, very threatening. Yes? And now, look at this. We're going to set up some tactics. Boom! Oh my god. What? It's not doing anything. I don't understand. Can't he just take on e6? This is stupid. You're horrible. Save it. I've heard it before. Look. 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 What can we do here? Let's look at this position. What can we do here as white? Try to find a move. You can't find a move, can you? Okay, what if we do this? Oh, I'm safe. Haha. Look, this is tremendous. No, it's not tremendous. I got your queen, right? Okay. If you went down that rabbit hole with me, you're still watching, that is... You must know me in real life. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. You can only make so many of these videos that get 10 views and, like, keep it professional, so I'm just going to do what I want. So going back, that's an interesting diatribe. Okay, bishop e7, I guess diatribe would be more of a speech. An interesting chasm of possibilities. Knight e2 actually very active move, forces black to be annoyed and move around that rook. Now this is quite annoying. Bishop g5 and rook to f1, very annoying. Okay, queen e7, staying active, defending everything that needs to be defended. Out comes the knight. Uh-oh. Rook e3. Oh, buddy. So, I have a threat. And there's a counter threat. Well, after I take, and you take, I take again. The threat is null and void. Because I have a defender. If I didn't have a defender, if this knight wasn't, excuse me, if this bishop wasn't here, okay, I could kind of see that. But it is here. So in a way, the game is over, and we have some solid endgame technique. We can stop these. How do we stop these? That's a good exercise. Okay. First of all, save your rook. Double attack, and run all your pieces down. Defend. Good man. And that's pretty much the game. So, hope you enjoyed that. If you're still here, hello, Matthew. Let's go to the third game. How about it? I told you, Richardson, 15 million or nothing. My client needs the best of the best. I gotta call you back. Hold on. Sorry. I'm also a highly successful agent for basketball players. So, just trying to get my client his 15 million that he deserves. Where was I? Back to this. The last game, since we only had 4 people, it was kind of a quad. So, the last game. If you're watching this and you don't play every week, I love you. You should play. Okay. I don't know you. I'd like to know you, and you should play. So, let's look. We have a perk defense, or if you want to be weird, a pierce. I've heard people say that. We actually have an Alakines. I'm surprised Matthew did not just completely wreck this Alakines. And okay, now we have a perk defense, and very, very standard development. My kitty cat is right here. Very standard development. This is all fine and dandy. This is very topical and aggressive. Now, I have a feeling we're going to see some kingside play here. 3 pawns. Wah wah wee wah. Incredible. Okay. Standard development. We're defending everything. Everything's defended. Lock the center. We like locking the center. And pushing F5. Just tremendous. Jamandro hits back in the center. Very good. We take. What is fascinating here is G4. Ugh. Gross. Nasty. Disgusting. What if takes? What if takes? You tell me. You tell me. Look at this line. Bishop G2. Takes. You with me? G5. Boom. Disgusting. Jeez. Sorry. Knight H5. You with me? This is silly. F6. Nobody's gonna play that. It's stupid. It's dumb. It was super dumb. It's dumb. Anyways, that's a nice little rabbit hole to dive down. Anyways, we charge and we take and we take, and we are active with our bishops. Queen B6, actually tremendous move. You see the eval bar flip. King H1, best move. Takes. And Queen D2, holding it all together. All right, takes. Takes. There's a way forward here to maintain the advantage. This is a dynamite knight. We don't want to do that. We can take here, even, and maintain our advantage. We can win a pawn. Ooh, wouldn't that be nice? Winning a pawn? That sounds lovely. Anyways, the whole reason black is ahead in this is because after this exchange, we destabilize this center. We have the center. Why does the bishop pair? We have a pawn center. And that is just lovely. Just lovely. We have to do something like this. And that's no fun, because now we have this dynamite knight again. So, let's go back. Yeah, taking just eliminates the whole advantage, because that knight was the whole position. You know what I mean? Knight H5. And that queen is rather uncomfortable. And all of a sudden, white has pieces on the 7th. And it's not looking so good for our friend Jim. And bit by bit, this game evens out to this end game. So, where do we go? Where do we go? Doubling, that's great. However, there's a rook that's under attack. Just bring it back, man. After takes, we have an even game. Completely even. Really anything else other than that was the way to go, fortunately. I mean, even something like this and that, you know, this is uncomfortable, but we're in it. This is coming up. This king's coming up here to defend. We're gonna push. You know, It's an even game. This should not happen. What? Okay. Well, never mind. It was a win for white, but you know what? These things happen. It's the end of the tournament, after all. And, ouch. Anyways, now it's in white's favor again. You never want to step into this. You never want to step into this. You don't want to do that because we get things like this, and then you see that tactic, kitty cat? These things happen. Okay, and that's the game. So I hope you enjoyed. If you're still here, hello, Matthew. Good to see you. Hope everything's well. That's all I got. Have a good day. Keep calm, chest on, all that good stuff.